It's like, I don't know if because I've chosen not to answer this question, if that filtered me out, or if because I did choose an answer, if my answer filtered me out. So I don't know where I draw the line at, where how to make those decisions on those questions that we all see in every application.
Let and share this wide and share this loud. Those questions really aren't seen by the recruitment team. They do go into uh, a different pool of data that is only sourced from a standpoint of surveying once we are looking at our talent pool as candidates that are hired. So that comes in once those people are hired. But we do not, from a recruitment standpoint, we do not see any of those questions on: am I a protected veteran? What's my race? What's my gender? Do I have a disability? Those questions are not seen. It is how somewhere totally different. Hiring managers don't see that. So I will say that. So
Well, that's reassuring.
yeah, I will be honest, that part does not come into play for most of the companies I've ever worked with, most of the recruiters that I know, period. Now, small companies, very small companies where they can see everything and there's no firewalls for people to see. I can't say anything about that, period. But I also know that a lot of times, sometimes hiring managers, and this is for you hiring managers and recruiters or whatever else, a lot of times people do go, they see your names and they just want to research people and see it on LinkedIn or see their Facebook. We frown upon that from a talent acquisition standpoint. From that way, of course, you do want to see what people truly who they are. But if you're making decisions from what you see, I would frown against that. Bias is bias. Again, a good recruitment process helps mitigate bias, but you really can't ask people not to be biased. What you really can do is present enough data and enough candidates so that people have the ability to make a decision in spite of whatever their bias may be. But rest assured, those things aren't what AI is reading and or screening. And you can't plug in, we don't want to hire no women. So make sure if they click women, get them out of here. So you can't. I have not seen that.
Well, I'm sure that's the drastic point of view, but a lot of things from the job seeker side is, especially when it's been months and you haven't seen anything, you're wondering what's going on
Yep.
the other side. And like my next question is like when you have a job posting and after the first 24 hours of it being posted, you got 800 applicants. What is a recruiter to do once they're inundated with that many applications? How do you start sifting through it? What really happens to those resumes? Can you walk us through the part that the candidates never really see?
First of all, this is the thing. This is the moment here that I would speak to both recruitment teams and to hiring managers and candidates all in the same answer that makes sense. So number one, again, if you're looking for a job, you need to have every alert on. So when that drops, you need to apply within the first few days of the job being open. That's just my thing. I'm not saying don't apply for a job if it's been open for 2 weeks or a month. I've done that and still gotten hired. I've hired people who were the last people to apply for a job. So it happens all the time. But for your best case scenario, I would apply early, be one of the first few. Now, let me tell you this, though. Also being one of the first few also means that you would be the longest person waiting for feedback if you don't get the job. So do know that, right? Because the interview process in alone could take 3 to 4 weeks. Negotiation period, start date. And again, for me, I'm not closing down a job until that person actually accepts the offer.
Right.
And I'm still where until they start if it's a situation. And again, if I'm busy, I'm going in and close out things. But so for recruiters, my suggestion is those people that are applying early, engage as much as you can, because we know you're going to be busy and moving on to the next thing. Same with hiring managers. Definitely interview early to see what the market is telling you to do, or giving you signals of what's available, and then be able to make some decisions there. But the part that candidates don't see, and this is the AI thing part of it, and again, recruitment software has been doing this for a long time. So the basis of AI really is more so an algorithm of such, right? Here's my questions. How many years of this experience do you have? 5 to 7. Well, the job rec says you need to have 8. So if you put 5 to 7, that's an automatic what I call disqualifier or DQ. And if you DQ, then you don't meet the job requirements. And so if you
Right.
don't meet the job requirements, then you just go automatically to the no pile. All right.
So let me stop you there before we move forward, because this is one thing that I am very curious about. When you did, like, say for example, and this is as it relates to just the job description, and I saw this when I first started working in marketing. Like, a lot of jobs are new, a lot of tasks are new, especially when it comes to AI and some of these new jobs related to AI specifically. So when I see tech companies posting jobs for whether it's a new generative AI position or something like that, to where you're instructing language models, so forth, and they're looking for over 5 years worth of experience, it seems unrealistic, because it's like, okay, AI has only been around for, how many people are you really expecting to have over 5 years of AI experience and it be real real thing, like somebody's actually done it for, and there might only be like a handful of people who have that experience maybe, but there might already be locked in at another company with equity somewhere. So at that point it's like, okay, is this job description really realistic, or how, like, is there, my thing is, like, I can understand how an AI might disqualify me or put me in the no pile because I might not have as many years of experience. But for task or specific job roles within a position, or I want X amount of years for this particular thing, but this thing hasn't only existed only a few years in the world. So it's like, okay, you're not asking for something that's realistic.
Yeah. So
And that's the frustrating thing from a job seeker side, seeing something like that. Like, this job didn't exist 5 years ago. What do you mean not having 5 years of experience? So stuff like that, that's the where I wonder, okay, is there a pushback from the recruiter side? Like, hey, this isn't, I think we need to make some adjustments to the rec here.
Uh, the short answer is no, there's not an adjustment initially, because I'll say this is why the school to the company pipeline is very important, right? If a hiring manager, if a company's already saying this is what we need, they have an idea of what they're defining this experience as. So they'll be like, man, Caltech has this AI program that's been around for 10 years, and their sophomores out doing this. So by the time they come out as their senior year, they already have 3 years of experience doing this, right? And so then if they had an internship or if they've done this, so then they got about 5 years. So it's the definitions of what you call experience.
Well, that's the part where I think it's really important. Excuse me. I think it's really important to have humans reviewing some of these applications so that they can make those distinctions versus having AI do it and it automatically get disqualified. So there's always going to be nuance, especially like if somebody has in their job, maybe I've been doing this, I've had a completely different job description at a different company, but I've been doing this exact task in that job, and then you might have it described perfectly in their resume. And I've been doing this in my last role, even though it wasn't necessarily something that was in my job description, but I'm capable of doing this because I know how to do it. It was just part of what I did. And so you might have that descriptively in your resume or as a bullet point or whatever, but technically it hasn't been something that it's not necessarily something that you can quantify. Somebody needs to read that and understand the nuance behind it versus having yourself eliminated because nobody even got a chance to read it first.